But let's focus on our personal finance segment. Harshvardhan Rungta of Rungta Securities is with us to talk about the difference between a top-down and a bottom-up approach of investing. Harshvardhan, I don't think anyone is investing in this market currently, but nevertheless, what would the key difference be at this point?
Well, Sonia, we do come across a lot of investors who wish to start investing in direct equities, but given the number of listed entities, which is 5,000 plus, they really do not know where to begin from. So, just there are two basic methods which will help you to start your research as to which company should you be investing in if it's direct equity. Now, the first method would be a top-down approach. In the top-down approach, you basically start and you begin with looking at the broader economic factors and the situation. You look at the GDP numbers, you look at your interest rate scenario, the exchange rates, the inflation, and then you see that how these factors are going to affect a particular sector. Now, given we've seen the depreciation of the rupee in the last 1 month to the extent of about 7 to 7.5%. Now, what one should do is evaluate what is the impact of this weakening of the rupee and which sectors are likely to benefit out of it. Now, for example, all the export-oriented IT companies are likely to benefit with the weakening of the rupee. And on the contrary, the companies which are import-oriented are likely to be affected negatively with this development. So that is the first step, and then you see that if IT sector you identified to be benefiting out of this, you then go one step further to see which IT company in the sector is going to benefit the most and which has good management, which has the fundamentals in place. This is a top-down approach wherein you go from step one, which is the broader economic situation, then boiling down to the company management and the market share that it enjoys. The other method would be a bottom-up approach. In this, you go exactly the reverse. First, you just look at some, you identify some companies which possibly an investor is using products of or has heard names. Now, take for example, Colgate is a household name. It's one of the leaders in the oral health care segment. So you just pick up a company. You look at the management first, you look at the market share it enjoys, you see the debt that the company has, you see the performance of the company, the financials and the fundamentals. Then you go one step ahead and then you see what is the standing that company has given the economic circumstances. The idea and the thought behind this process is that the investor feels that a company can independently function irrespective of whatever the external factors are. So these are, very broadly speaking, two methods which you can start, looking at companies and evaluating whether you should invest. But there is no right and wrong method. I mean, whatever one is comfortable with, he should choose that method and begin. He could possibly start looking at two different companies with two different approaches. So this is one of the methods which you can use to start thinking which company to invest in.
But just a warning to all those who do this bottom-up approach, there is a lot of work to do, and therefore doing it on your own could be a tall ask. Let's get to our caller. Okay, we haven't been able to connect with her, but she did send her message to us earlier. Dolly Sood has messaged from Mumbai. She needs to know about some good funds to invest for the long term. Okay, that's a very terse question. Harsh?
Well, Latha, yes, I do understand. What is important to understand from the investor's point of view is the definition of long term. We've come across people who say that we want to invest for long term, and when we ask them what is the time horizon, they say 1 year or 2 years. So one point I want to make clear, when we talk about long term, we talk about at least 8 to 10 years and beyond. So we're talking about, in such kind of a scenario, equity as an asset class outperforms all other assets that we've seen. But what I would recommend, because she's just beginning and she has corpus a target of investing 10,000 per month, I could recommend that she starts with a balanced fund. Now I could recommend name SBI Magnum Balanced Fund. This fund has a mandate to invest about 60% in equities and 40% in debt. So this will be a good way to begin. She'll have a balance of both the assets in her portfolio. And with the 10,000 rupees that she's investing, 6,000 gets into equity and 4,000 into debt. So she doesn't need to even split her money into several different schemes. So, and she possibly could review this decision after 2 years.
All right, Dolly, if you're listening, that's the advice for anyone who's starting out to invest. Thanks a lot for joining us, Harsh. We leave the market a tad better because the erosion has stopped and the Nifty is above the 5,700 mark. That's about as good as it gets. Statements coming in from the cabinet.